What Bradley Walsh is really like. The chase contestant tells all. You could feel it the second the video started climbing across TikTok. That particular kind of viral energy that only happens when someone pulls back the curtain on a show the whole country grew up watching. A former contestant on The Chase, going by Savannah, sat down in front of her phone and just talked. No script. No PR polish. And within hours, thousands of people were watching, because she wasn't just telling a fun behind-the-scenes story, she was answering the question fans have wondered about for years. What is Bradley Walsh actually like when the cameras cut? Before we even get to Bradley, though, there's something almost funny about how Savannah's chase journey began. She'd applied back in 2021. 2 years passed. Nothing. And then, completely out of nowhere, a casting assistant called her, not during a scheduled interview, not at a desk with notes in front of her, but while she was mid-walk to work. Most people would ask for 5 minutes to find somewhere quiet. Savannah didn't. She stood there, on a pavement, next to traffic noise and passing strangers, and did a live general knowledge quiz on the spot. It's a small detail, but it says a lot about the kind of person who ends up thriving under studio lights. Someone who doesn't need permission to perform under pressure. That instinct clearly carried her through, because she made it all the way onto the show. And once she got there, the story shifts to the man everyone actually wants to hear about. Here's the thing about Bradley Walsh. For years he's existed in this strange dual space in the public imagination. On screen he's warm, quick, theatrical, always ready with a line. But viewers have always wondered whether that's a performance that switches off the moment filming stops. Savannah's answer, in her own words, was refreshingly simple. She described him as consistently professional and genuinely friendly, someone who clearly knows the demands of a long filming day but never lets that show in how he treats the people around him. She even mentioned he took a moment to recommend things to do in Seville after her episode wrapped. Which, if you think about it, is such a small human gesture. He didn't have to do that. There's no camera on him in that moment. And that's usually when you find out who someone actually is. It's worth sitting with that for a second, because it quietly reframes the entire show. If the warmth we see from Bradley on air is the same warmth contestants get off air, then The Chase isn't just a well-produced quiz format. It's a set that people genuinely enjoy being on. And that atmosphere, even if viewers never consciously notice it, probably bleeds into the energy of every episode. But Savannah didn't stop at Bradley. She went further, into territory most contestants never talk about, the strategy conversations that happen before a single camera rolls. In the green room, she and her fellow contestants made a quiet pact. Not to go for glory. Not to chase the biggest number on the board. Just to survive, together, and walk away with something. She explained that team size at the final chase matters more than people realize, which is why she kept encouraging weaker players to play it safe and get back to the team rather than risk elimination. It's strategic, sure, but it's also strangely emotional, because it reveals something about how ordinary people behave under real financial pressure. And that's where her story gets genuinely vulnerable. She admitted she needed the money. Not wanted, needed. A vet bill had left her stretched, and by the time it was her turn in the final chase, with her teammates already safely home, the pressure had become very real. So when Bradley pointed out afterward that she'd turned down 2 shots at a much bigger prize, you can hear, even secondhand, the tension in that decision. It's easy to judge a contestant's choices from your sofa. It's a different thing entirely to be the one standing there, knowing what that money actually means outside the studio. Then, almost as a parting gift to fans, she dropped the kind of detail that makes you rewatch old episodes differently forever. That moment right before the head-to-head begins, when contestants glance downward instead of up at the board. It's not nerves. It's not distraction. There's a small mechanical flap that opens to reveal the answer buttons, and closes again once the round ends. And that brief downward glance is just contestants making sure they don't fumble the wrong button under pressure. It's such a tiny thing, but it's exactly the kind of detail that changes how you watch a show you thought you already understood completely. What stays with you after a video like this isn't really the trivia, or even the money. It's the sense that behind a format we've watched 1,000 times, there are real people making real decisions under real pressure, and a host who, by every account, treats them like people rather than props. So maybe the real question isn't what happens on the chase. Maybe it's what you noticed watching this that you'd never thought about before. Did the Bradley Walsh story surprise you? Or did it just confirm what you already suspected?